Hello and welcome to the Front Office Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Cameron. And as always, our show is sponsored by Tees and Trees Clothing. Tees and Trees is where we stand on business. Don't have any Tees and Trees on today. Actually, I do have some Tees and Trees on under this, but it's cold. We in South Carolina. It's a little cold, a little nippy. But I'm rocking my homeboy Audris Art by High Lee, formerly known as High Flight Apparel. Oldie but goodie. He's got the entire shop on sale, 50% off Black Friday, man. If you're going to shop with somebody, make sure you shop with him. Link is below. Also, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, follow, share. If you disagree, like if you do. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? I had a really good Thanksgiving, actually. A little bit more moving around than I thought it was going to be. Me and my wife decided that we pre-cook. And what I mean by pre-cook is we were going to somebody's house. My auntie Judy, shout out to her, and my Uncle Dane, and everybody in Eastover who cooked. But we didn't want to leave with 18 plates and shit. You know what I mean? So we kind of cooked some base meals. For the first time ever, I made collard greens. They came out amazing. Wish I could, share with y'all, but it is what it is. If you know me, hit me up. I got some left over. A fried turkey. My wife made some great mac and cheese, and she made her sweet potato yams. And then we just kind of got a bunch of different desserts from everybody. And my Aunt Judy had a seafood boil there. We got some of that. So we got leftovers for days. Needless to say, we're not spending no money today, tomorrow, maybe on Sunday when we got to take my son back. But nevertheless, man, let's talk about these NFL games that happened yesterday. And let's talk about what it means going forward. Fair warning, Dallas Cowboy fans, my homeboy Vic, Rashad, Marcus Banks. It's a bunch of y'all, but those are the guys that's coming to the top of my head right now, man. I owe y'all an apology. It's coming up right now. Stay tuned. Let's get to the show. The game of the day, in my opinion, was the Dallas Cowboys versus Kansas City Chiefs. It was a big hyped up game. Both teams are not struggling, but kind of in a situation where they don't need to lose any games. Dallas is 6-5-1 with the tie with Green Bay, and really could kind of get a chokehold on a playoff spot with a big win, and they delivered. Dak Prescott was great. George Pickens was unguardable. CeeDee Lamb was more sure-handed, no drops. Maybe he had one drop or something like that, but he had a big day. The running game is stout for Dallas as far as Javonte Williams back there. I wish they would have gave him the ball a little bit more. I would have hit on my parlay. He fell 3 yards short, but hey, you win some, you lose some. I'm the one that chose the bet. But as far as the Cowboys is concerned, and I can't believe I'm saying this, man, the Cowboys could actually go to the Super Bowl. And here's why. Philadelphia and the Rams are the top teams, and Seattle in the NFC right now. I know Dallas can beat Philadelphia. The Rams, not so sure, but that would be a good game. Seattle, I do think they can beat. Dallas has everything you need as far as being a football team complete come playoff time, barring any injuries. They got a great quarterback who's playing like an MVP. They got two weapons on the outside in George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb who are unguardable. You got a great athletic young tight end who blocks and is also a mismatch problem when it comes down to putting him on a linebacker when he's running routes. And you got a very stout running game. Defense was always the problem. So, well, since the addition of Quentin Williams and the guy that they got from Michael Parsons actually being healthy, and they got a few other pieces back on that defense doesn't look bad. Now, they gave up 28 points yesterday, and I'm not saying that they are world beaters and they're the number one defense, but they just need to be capable with that great offense. They don't have to be the number one defense. They just don't need to be last. And they're not. I don't think that the Dallas Cowboys are ranked last. I mean, somebody can fact check me if you want, but I just don't see them being ranked last based on what I've seen over the last 3 weeks. The Dallas Cowboys are a real threat to win the NFC, especially if they can get it to where they get at least one home playoff game. Now, that's going to take them running off the rest of their wins. The rest of the schedule looks like, and I'm going to put it up on here for y'all, I think they got the Chargers, the Vikings, they're at Detroit, and then they have the Redskins to finish up the season. I know for a fact the Detroit game is in Detroit and the Redskins game is in Washington. But the other two games are home. Going against my Vikings, can we beat them? Yeah, but with our quarterback situation, do I feel confident about us going in there and winning the game? No. No, 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 no. Even if McCarthy was playing lights out, Those weapons that they have on the outside is a real problem. That is a real problem. And the way that Brian Flores likes to blitz, he's gonna make it a long day for that secondary. He's gonna make it a long day. If we don't get to the quarterback, it's gonna be a long day for our secondary. Chargers are kind of the same thing. They got a great defense. They can really rush the passer, but the problem is you're gonna leave those guys one on the outside. And then when you start backing off that, they're gonna start gashing you with the run, start looking at Ferguson going across the middle, and it's a whole problem. The defense is the Cowboys defense is gonna take them as far as they want to go. I do think the tragic death of Nealon has galvanized that team. I think they are together. I think they are playing for something. And they're just not worrying about anything outside. Even with CD and George Pickens having the foolishness that happened in Las Vegas, look what they came out there and did. Had huge games, huge games. As far as Kansas City is concerned, I don't think they're out of it completely. I don't think mathematically they're out of it, and they are resilient, but they are getting older, and they're getting to the point to where it's like every year you kind of teetering on this. You kind of teetering on this now, for at least for like the last 2 years, I would say. They can still get in. They're still a threat in the AFC, but I wouldn't be surprised if they miss the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if they missed the playoffs. But let's move to the first game, which is the NFC matchup. Pretty important, Detroit and Green Bay. The Green Bay Packers visited the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day, and they dominated. Honestly, it was a good game throughout, but I just felt like Green Bay kind of did what they wanted to do. I thought I was a little disappointed in Detroit's decisions on fourth downs, but I can't criticize somebody that we praise so much when he goes for fourth down and it works out. You know, it's just I do think he's gonna have to take a step back and say you lost by 8 or 7 or 8 or something like that, but you had a chance to kick 3 field goals. You know what I mean? Or maybe been a 10. I don't know what the score was. It was 31-21 or some shit like that. I was a little disgusted because Jamar Gibbs, again, another guy on my parlay ticket, was 2 yards away from hitting his mark and did not see the ball again because Green Bay knows how to put together methodical drives that drain the clock. Jordan Love was outstanding yesterday, 4 touchdowns. Romeo Dobbs, Wicks, Watson, they got weapons. Even with missing their number one weapon, which is the tight end, you still got Josh Jacobs back there. And this Eric Wilson guy is starting to be a real problem as far as being a backup and being able to give uh, Jacobs a break. You're not getting much of a break. I think he ran for 121 against us when Jacobs was out or something like that. So great, and their defense is outstanding. That's the best part of their team. Michael Parsons was a grown man yesterday. I think he ended up with 2, maybe 3 sacks yesterday. They were in Jared Goff's face all day, and Detroit's line is banged up. They're injured. There's not their starters. It's not the same. It's not the same effect when you have the starters in there. But you got to give credit where credit is due. Green Bay looked good. They looked good yesterday. Do I think they can win the Super Bowl? If you got to go play in Green Bay, absolutely, you got a chance. But I do think we might get another Dallas and Green Bay matchup. That would be great if we can get that. Um, and I don't know, man. It's something about them Cowboys right now. I don't know what it is. I'm not a Cowboy fan. I hate it. I can't stand them, especially since the Jerry Jones trade back in the day. The Jimmy Johnson trade back in the day. Yeah, nah, I can't do it. I can't ignore what they have accomplished and how they look over the last 3-4 weeks. Dallas looks good, but Green Bay is going to be a playoff team. They're probably going to win the North, depending on what Chicago does today. Now they're going to Philly. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Quick prediction: I think Philly gonna beat the shit out of the Bears today. You know what I mean? I do. It's in Philadelphia. Philadelphia's coming off of a loss. Unless they just are really spiraling, I think Philadelphia's gonna come out and make a statement, and I think they're gonna make it a statement on a young quarterback in Caleb Williams. I predict a long day for him. Long day. Well, I might be wrong, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see how we go, man. Let's go to the last game of the night, which was the most disappointing game for me: the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Ravens and the Bengals played the night game, or the nightcap, I should say, last night, and I was disappointed. I was, man. I thought Lamar and the Ravens would be able to take advantage of the fact that you're playing against a team that's not that good. Even though they were getting Joe Burrow back, you're at home. You got a chance to make a run here and make a statement, but they just were a no-show. Lamar looked bad. The team looked bad. Defense didn't look great. Joe Burrow sliced them up. Joe Burrow was great last night. He was awesome. He was calm. He was poised in that pocket. It looked like he had been waiting to play, ready to play, and they proved it. They got chased back, and they didn't even have T. Higgins out there, and just sliced and diced them up. Sliced and diced them up. That was a bad loss for the Ravens. It's a division loss. I think that kind of gives Pittsburgh a good, clear path to winning that AFC North. But if Pittsburgh falters, the Bengals can sneak in there. The Bengals can sneak in there. They're gonna need a lot of help. They can't do it on their own. But that's the thing. Can you be able to pull this off every week? Are you gonna look like this every week, Joe Burrow? But as far as Lamar and the Ravens, I think that was a nail in the coffin. I'd be shocked if they make the playoffs. And the fact that we might not have Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs is mind blowing to itself. So that's different, man. That's different, man. Listen, if you're in Columbia, South Carolina tonight, there is a huge, very classy all-black party going on. It happens every year. Great group of guys who throw this event. Please, please, please make sure you look at the dress code. Please, I've been notified by somebody very high up with the people that's throwing the party that they are not tolerating it. Just make sure you do what you're supposed to do, man. Everybody can have a good time. Y'all be safe. I will get back with y'all, man, probably on Monday after some more football, and then we'll talk a little basketball next week. I am your host, Marcus Cameron, Front Office Podcast, T's and Trees of the Clothing Line. Peace.